Also, I might have to turn on the fan in here. It is ridiculously hot. It's probably 80 or 85 degrees in the apartment. I don't know why. It's not like there's not even heating, and it's not even like I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm on the 2nd floor, and just for whatever reason, this place does not cool down. I mean, it's been 95 for the past day or two, but... Alright, I guess we'll be ready to go into Game 1, which is CPL from Week 5, and this game spawning in the top left-hand corner as our orange Zerg, we have Coach-Pupil, and in the bottom right-hand corner as the Teal Terran, we have X-Loctus. So, that would mean this is Team playing against... Ooh, I might have to look it up. I'm trying to remember what team Coach-Pupil is on. Either way, X-Loctus is a... he was D+ Terran, switching over from SE2, or at least trying out Brood War. I think he was around D+ initially, and I think he was Masters in SE2. And I have been a bit busy. He's on my team, so I should know. But I'm not exactly sure how much or how little he has improved over the course of CPL, but he could easily be stronger than that. And Coach-Pupil, from what I recall from the CPL ranking tour that I hosted, is he is around a C- Zerg. So should be a decently even matchup we have here, especially given that we are talking about ZVT, which tends to be a matchup that Zergs find just a little bit harder than Terrans throughout Brood War, except at like really, really low levels, in which case lurkers are just invincible. Like if you use lurkers against somebody that's like D-, they can't even do anything about it. SCV going out, doing a little bit of searching, but unfortunately headed to the wrong base, and we have a hatchery down for Coach-Pupil. So, oh, wait, that was a 9 hatch. Or, yeah, that was a 9 hatch, okay. So, Coach-Pupil looking to do something a little different. See, that's easy to miss. You just look at it, you're like, 12 hatch, yeah, alright, but now he's going to put down a pool on 9 as well. And then probably 9 gas and Overlord. And basically he's going to have a boatload of speedlings at a pretty early timing, and this is so easy to miss. When you come in with this SCV, you just see a hatchery making. If you don't click on its on its HP, you're just like, oh, okay, 12 hatch, and then all of a sudden you're surprised at the awkward timing of speedlings, and you're like, why am I dying? He went 12 hatch. I did everything safe. Now he's going to be going, well, he's got gas. I'm not going to say he's going to be going mech. He could 2-port, which would be not good unless he got a bunker or something up, but he's going to have like 1 or 2 vultures, which have, I think the early vulture might have a little bit of potential, but once there's speed done, it's definitely going to be done well before vulture speed, which is going to make it really hard to micro those vultures alive. So I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty tough situation for X-Loctus, unless he quickly picks up on what is going and alters his response a little bit. But let's see. He does have that gas up. We'll see what he's getting. Probably a factory. He's posturing like he was going to build something. He's got the minerals, the gas. Alright, so we have a factory. Now we need to see what happens after this. Coach-Pupil is going to be building Zerglings, and he's going to take his guys off gas and get Ling's speed. Now he's going to leave 1 on gas. A lot of times you take it off, but maybe if he wants to transition to lair, he's probably a little bit surprised by that. 6 Lings with only 2 hatches down, that might have him a little bit suspicious right now, although, oh dear. Well, Coach-Pupil hasn't found him, right? Okay, yeah. So at least that's good for X-Loctus, but X-Loctus right now is not responding to this at all. He's getting an academy, which is interesting, but he's got only... Oh, Coach-Pupil either knows or is guessing right. This is really bad, potentially, for X-Loctus. He's going to have 3 Marines. He's going to get his ramp busted, and a boatload of speedlings are likely to be flooding in. Yeah, you can see he is producing more Lings behind this, so let's see how Coach-Pupil does this. He's going straight up the ramp. Oh! Loses 1 Ling. That's a start for X-Loctus, but there's still 6. Maybe he's waiting for speed, but I don't think he needs to wait. Yeah, there we go. Now he's running through, going in for the surround. SCVs, oh no, SCVs are not pulled. That is just an SCV that was on its way out, and now the situation is very scary for X-Loctus, especially since, of all things, he's gone for a machine shop rather than a first vulture, despite seeing all these Lings, and now he is down to just 1 Marine, trying to hide it in the minerals, but there are about to be speedlings pouring into his base. And this is a very terrible situation. It is going to be a very difficult defense for X-Loctus. They're now like 8 Lings, and yep, that game is just pretty much over. Yeah, X-Loctus, I don't know what to say about that game, but the reactions were not right. I'm really surprised seeing 6 Lings out like that with 2 hatches. He should have been a little more suspicious than he was. I mean, to not even put SCVs on the ramp against that was really surprising, and then it's also kind of surprising, especially off 2 hatches, to see him opt to just throw down a machine shop on that factory. That was an interesting response, and unfortunately it cost him. Alright, so we'll go into our next game on Circuit Breaker. So in the bottom left hand corner, as our blue Protoss from Team, we have Evil Eye. And on the right side from Dragon Herb, we have Laser Snipe. This is going to be the matchup of the low APM, but pretty good for this league Protosses. Evil Eye, I believe, has hit C rank on IC Cup, and Laser Snipe is around C-, if I'm remembering correctly. And Evil Eye honestly plays a lot of games with less than 100 APM, and Laser Snipe has a few more than that, but tends to be, I don't know, 110, 120. But both of them, obviously, given from their rank, you know, given the league, we're dealing with pretty solid players in this league. So, yes, both tend to have pretty good builds too, and just smart play, as is typically the case. So, obviously, both just getting pylons up in their main. Nobody's going to be trying to do any proxy shenanigans super early in this game. And, of course, these games are from best of 3 series. And a few of them have already been casted. So I'm not sure 100% like which games from this series we're watching. But I guess the way that Jealous has been casting a lot of these games, Babbo, Choboswagons, however you know them, is kind of as a bit of an educational cast, so I'm sort of adopting the same format for this week rather than casting a straight through series. And we have a probe going out here for Evil Eye, Gateway Scout, and it is heading in the correct direction as near as I can tell. I can't imagine he's going to suddenly deviate and go up here. That would just be confusing. And if we look at the timing of the gateways, oh, we've got 2 gates here from Evil Eye, and we have a gas from Laser Snipe. So, 2 gate versus a tech build. But not, it was a 10-12 gate, so not 9-9, not super aggressive zealots, just a little bit of zealot pressure, and then it'll be interesting. I imagine he will go 5 zealots into expand. That's way, way more popular at low levels. Sometimes you will see 5 zealots into tech, but in almost all the games I see below, like, you know, B rank, it's almost always 5 zealots into expand. So Evil Eye is going to know the basics of what is going on, but of course Laser Snipe also sniping correctly, which will be nice for him as he will quickly see that he is under threat from 2 gate and be able to take appropriate measures. Be prepared on his ramp for that. Here we go. Probe is in, no problem. And scouting around. Zealot coming on down. Let's see how long he can keep that alive, although honestly there's probably not too much he needs to see here for the moment. He will want to see a little bit later how Evil Eye is going to respond, and that probe is dead. Boom. So now just Evil Eye with the probe alive. And we can see, as predicted, both players' APM is dropping towards that 100 level. But this will be proof right here that you don't need insanely high APM to be a fairly effective Brood War player. I mean, yes, if you want to play in Korea, you're going to need more than 100 APM, but you'd be surprised how good you can be with good decisions and efficient prioritization of your time. And Evil Eye doing an excellent job with the probe. That's one thing I don't know. I guess he just clicks kind of infrequently, but I know that, like, to move this thing around properly, just the amount of spam clicking I do to move the probe would, like, give me 250 APM or something for free. Alright, the probe is going to die now to the Dragoon. You can see Laser Snipe's trying to pick it off if it leaves the ramp, but either way he gets it now. And he's put up a pretty fast second gateway to deal with this, and with 2 zealots on the ramp and a Dragoon should be fine, and indeed Evil Eye is going to go ahead and Nexus behind this. And now, oh, I don't know if Laser Snipe needs to come down the ramp like this and almost loses that zealot. Good thing he doesn't. Now, very soon here, he's going to be able to move across the map here against Evil Eye with these Dragoons. There'll be a little bit of a window here with these 5 zealots where Evil Eye could pressure, but once 3 Dragoons are out, Laser Snipe's going to be able to micro this fairly easily, and Evil Eye should have to go running back to his base, but we'll see what happens here. This one Zealot is not in the best of positions. Oh, it's just walking around, so the Zealots are going down pretty fast. Now he has 3 Dragoons out, should be, well, that's not a good start. Oh, so a great catch here for Evil Eye, and now Laser Snipe definitely is going to need to react. And the annoying thing here is he lost his Zealots really fast, so he's got more Zealots than he wanted running around in his base, causing havoc, and he's got to be a little bit careful with these Dragoons. He definitely doesn't want to have Zealots copped. I'd love to see him target fire this one down. Although the one thing Evil Eye is not doing, he is just buying time. He has not sent a Zealot to go into the probes or do anything like that. Now he's going to go all the way into the mineral line, but perhaps too far. He is going to get really drilled here, and that will probably spell the end of these Zealots with fairly little damage. Some lost mining time for sure. But these Zealots are taken care of, and of course that will have bought just a little bit of time to get those cannons up at his base so he can be safe. And then we'll just have to see what is Laser Snipe's response. He is obviously going to either need to throw down a Nexus pretty quickly, although I think that would not be the best in this situation, as he'd just be behind. I mean, yeah, he's got faster tech, but the difference in speed from these 2 Nexuses is huge, and just, well, that's what he's going to do, is pretty huge. So I think he's going to be setting himself just sort of behind, because this expansion is so much faster that once he throws up a gateway or 2 and starts pumping Dragoons, he's just going to get caught up in count and be in a good spot. So Laser Snipe is just going to chill outside the base here, make sure he doesn't have Zealots walk across the map, and this is fine for him, at least for the moment, because it's that is a ridiculously fast upgrade. I don't know how much I love that. Like if your opponent is going for Reavers or something, which he doesn't really know right now. I mean, I guess he's seen that there wasn't a Robo put down, but yeah, if your opponent's going for tech and you're spending your early money with this fast expansion on upgrades, you're asking to just have like no Dragoon count when a Reaver or something shows up. So I think that's a little bit dicey for Evil Eye. Obviously in this game he's going to get away with it just fine. We're going to see a Templar Archives. Now, are we seeing a Robo with this? Yes, we are. So it is going to be a DT drop. And it's going to be very important for Evil Eye to have cannons in his main. Actually, he will even need a cannon in his natural. This drop has a lot of potential to do damage if Evil Eye doesn't get a little bit suspicious about what's going to happen. Because, again, the DT can easily pick off at the... He probably can't get any or probes over here, but definitely can walk into the mineral line and, like, just stand here and be super obnoxious. And, of course, if a cannon doesn't go up, a cannon or 2 doesn't go up in the main fairly soon, then the DTs are going to wreak havoc. Now, the fact he's getting a Robo is good. Actually, that should leave him with a decent window now that he could live the DT drop. Because if the DT drop shows up before you have Robo and you don't have cannons, you just lose your main, and then you basically lose the game. But I think with this Robo coming, he shouldn't have OBS out by the time the DT drop gets there, but he will have an OBS on the way, and he is adding a cannon. Now, Evil Eye has, or Laser Snipe has only added 2 DTs. So with that in mind, he won't really be able to deal with this cannon. Now, if you drop 4 DTs, and that's something that I've been tricked with a few times before, where you build like 1 cannon, sometimes even 2 in the main, you're like, yeah, I'm safe from DTs, and all of a sudden someone drops 4 DTs, they can take out cannons so fast that you can actually end up in trouble. And one thing I do want to point out about this Robo, it's going to work out great for Evil Eye in this situation, but again, I would like to see a little bit more of an attempt from him to scout, as, he's got the cannons at the front, but if Laser had been he hasn't seen the Nexus, so if Laser had been going for some like really mass goon or Reaver build, then that fast of a Robo wouldn't be great. Now, sometimes you just kind of have to guess in PvP, it is kind of hard to scout, and in come the DTs, well, he's going to drop right on top of the cannon. The cannon will certainly go down. DTs do massive damage to the building. Dragoons are coming back to help, but the cannon is down. But as I said, the OBS is on the way, and the probes were pulled pretty quickly. So I think these DTs are going to get a few probe kills, probably 4 or 5 probe kills here from these stragglers. But then that is going to be it for the damage they're going to do, and they should be picked off as the Observer comes out. And oh dear, this is not good for Laser Snipe, who is not retreating his units at the front, a little too busy focusing on those DTs, so he's going to lose all of his Dragoons at the front. No losses here for Evil Eye. OBS is out now, so he's going to lose a pylon and like 4 probes, and that is going to be it. Although he needs to bring his Dragoons over here to clear this out. 1 Dragoon will... Actually, DT is more weakened than I thought. But down Good. Okay. Okay. He's on top of it though. He's paying attention to the movement. Here comes the ops. Oh, he attacks the pylon. So that is the end of that DT, and that is the end of that drop. And unfortunately, he did lose his army in that, and he has only made one Templar. It does have Storm, presuming he has researched it at the archives, but he's going to get his panic cannons up, so it'll be okay. That definitely, you can see by the placement of those cannons, a little bit strange and built in a weird order, that he obviously had this, oh shit, I'm going to die, and just started putting down cannons moment. And now Evil Eye is going to move out across the map. Now with, oh, he canceled a lot of them. Okay, he's got one Storm, which is good, but if Evil Eye reacts quickly, that Storm won't do much. This guy does not have a Storm yet. He will, oh, actually, whoa. Okay, he's just been chilling in the main. Never mind. With two Storms to work with, he should be alright. And with this round of goons coming out, he should be fine. And in the meantime, Evil Eye with his 4 gateways, is he getting Citadel Tech? No, no Citadel Tech yet. He's going to try to come in from beneath. Laser Snipe has an ops here. He will be able to see this attack coming. Attacking this pylon, needs to bring these goons back a little bit, and obviously be quick to react to these storms. Actually, there's a lot of Dragoons here. If he doesn't take too much damage from these storms, oh, that's a great storm. Forces him back for a second. But this is a lot of Dragoons. Oh, he's got a second storm, and he'll have one more on this Templar, so... yeah, with double storms, no. I was going to say, for a second, I thought Laser Snipe was in a bit of trouble there, but since Evil Eye just completely ate all those storms, Laser Snipe was able to hold fairly comfortably. And now the game is going to stabilize into a reasonably even position here, especially considering that Laser Snipe is now way ahead in tech, as he has full Templar tech out. And Evil Eye doesn't even have his Citadel tech. Although Evil Eye is going to take a third base, which may open up a little bit of a window here for Laser Snipe to do a dangerous attack. The one thing Evil Eye does have going for him, though, is he does have sick upgrades, and I don't think Laser... okay, Laser is halfway to +1? Yeah. But Evil Eye is halfway to his second upgrade, so pretty nice, comfortable upgrade advantage here for Evil Eye. And Laser Snipe working off of, what, 6 gateways? Evil Eye is working off of 4. Yeah, they're going up to 7, but working off of 4 right now. Appears to be macroing maybe a little more smoothly. You know, when you consider he just lost his whole army, appears to have just a few more units out. We got, what, 10 Dragoons? Yeah, oh, he's got 4 High Templars, so... we will see if he recognizes here, and if he scouts this, and realizes that he has an opportunity upon which he can capitalize. Because there would definitely be a window for him to be aggressive if he chooses, and that is an interesting back cannon, but I guess he wants to prevent shuttles from sweeping in this direction and then getting a little spread of cannons around the base here. So more of a I don't want to be harassed cannons rather than a I'm worried about a bust down the ramp style of cannons, which would place them more in front of the Nexus over here. So mineral income now is going to be great for Evil Eye. Definitely will be able to add quite a few zealots to his army with that. No third gas yet, but obviously same thing for Laser Snipe. Who I would think would be planning to attack or expand here fairly soon. I would say if you're being like as traditional as possible, the general rule of thumb for PvP would be something like you expand, you go up to 4 gateways, you get your Citadel, you get your Templar Archives, you go up to 6 gateways, and then you take a third. So I would expect to see... alright, we're going to clear out this obs, but I would expect to see either a third base or some sort of attack here shortly from Laser Snipe. Otherwise, he's going to just get into this sort of awkward situation where you're just sitting on 2 bases while your opponent is getting further ahead. You can see the probe count way better for Evil Eye. 50 probes here for Laser Snipe, but 68 probes for Evil Eye. In fact, he's right about the point where he needs to stop probe production, which it appears he has. Otherwise, you can get into this situation where you don't have a big enough army. You're like, I've made everything I can, but my army's only 3.5 control groups. Which in PvP, especially where engagements can be really decisive, you definitely need to balance that correctly. Too few, and obviously you have your own set of problems, namely you're not getting enough money. And indeed, a Laser Snipe does what I was talking about and takes a third base. And of course, Laser Snipe's third base is a gas base. So once he has this up and running, that will be a nice advantage. And we can see Evil Eye's army here is still a little bit low on the oh, that is a shit ton of gateways. Holy crap. Going up to what? 12 gates? 7 plus 5? Yeah, 12 gateways. Can you support that off 3 bases? I guess if you just spam Pure Zealot, you probably can. So Evil Eye is going to be focused on making a massive army whereas Laser Snipe has the way better tech army. Now, honestly, as many Zealots as he might be spamming, it would be nice to see a few more Archons in here, but oh my god, this is so bad for Laser Snipe right now. He is totally out of position. This base is 100% denied, which is not what he wants, and oh my god, he's leaving like 2/3 of his army at home. We'll see how this engagement goes, but it doesn't look good initially. The one thing Laser Snipe has going for him is that Evil Eye is sort of all out of position down this ramp as well, and Storm's going off. Obviously, Laser Snipe, or Evil Eye finally has Templar coming across the map now, but this attack from Laser Snipe is not coordinated at all. He could be completely destroying this army. He's still doing okay, but certainly not as efficient as it could have been. And I don't know if that Nexus was canceled or not. It's hard to tell from the minerals. It might have been, but of course it is sea level, so the macro could also just be bad. And it is going to be another army cleaned up here for Evil Eye. So Laser Snipe is certainly going to be the one sitting on the superior army now, having taken that engagement and added more gateways of his own. However, he is desperately in need of either a third base of his own or of shutting down this third base, because as the mains start to run dry, that difference in production will become really evident. Oh, there's a Templar hanging out up here. It's going to get picked off, but Laser Snipe is having a really hard time right now coordinating his entire army, finally gathering it together, and it looks like he wants to run in for an attack, but again, Evil Eye's macro has been very smoothly regulated. Look at that production from the gateways. A little bit of queuing, but very in sync, very harmonious production here, which is going to give him a lot of units, and Laser Snipe now flooding in, of course, a few units here just out of position. The Storm going down, not doing how much. He will do some damage to the third base. Storm, oh, unfortunately, I think he accidentally clicked on the cannon, doesn't get a whole lot of probes, and will he take down the Nexus? I don't know, but he's about to get sandwiched from both sides, and it does not look good for the army of Laser Snipe. He is shutting down all production at the third base. No Storms on the army, though, so after this army goes down, the army advantage is going to be hugely in favor of Evil Eye, and the only question is going to be, will it be too far in favor of Evil Eye for Laser Snipe to be able to handle? As the way he went for that attack, he basically donated all these units in exchange for the probes at the third base of Evil Eye. And with the tech now in Evil Eye's army, it's looking quite scary. I mean, that's got to be at least 3 control groups, and soon to be 4, whereas Laser Snipe appears to have about 1 control group. Trying to retake that third base, but it is a long ways from being done, so both players sort of on 2-base eco, although Evil Eye, remember, has made a lot of probes, and with his main mining out, he can just transfer more over and be back on solid 2-base mining as the main runs out. And gonna go straight over here, deny the third base for for Laser Snipe yet again. And Laser Snipe, I don't think he has the army to fight this. 2-0 for Laser Snipe, but 2-2 for Evil Eye. Must have double forges working. Look at these, really nice upgrading right now from Evil Eye, which is gonna cause huge problems for Laser Snipe. But I think Laser Snipe just can't go anywhere. Evil Eye nicely splitting off his army. That's always a good thing to do once you're killing the base. Leaving your whole army down here attacking just leaves you really out of position, but he's just left 2 units, and he's just kind of patrolling those bridges, taking a look, and possibly posturing for an attack across the bridges. Now Laser Snipe starting to get out a decent number of units. Oh, and we have a shuttle coming in here for a little bit of harass. Templar being dropped, but the Storm is late. And actually, because all the minerals are out, that Storm was like really ineffective because the probes spread out when the minerals are out rather than being all nicely stacked on the mineral lines. Oh, a little sloppy here from Evil Eye, who donates an Archon. And he just has a little bit of a surround on the bridges here, which is an interesting position. It's like he wants to attack. Or maybe he's just waiting for Laser Snipe to walk out across the bridges, and then these guys will attack, these guys will come from the high ground, and these guys will come from underneath, and it'll be like the flank of doom, which actually I really like. I was like, for attacking into the bridges, this doesn't look that great, but if he goes this way, this army's got to back up out of here, or it is going to get mowed down, or is he going to go for it? No, right now the army is just going to get mowed down. Alright, so a little bit of a donation here from Evil Eye, who's going to have to back out of this position, actually sending in this group here, and now he's going to send in the other group, so we're going to have a full-on engagement, full-on fight for a third base. Does Laser Snipe have enough units? Again, a lot of his units are not fighting. The Storms are really good, but his army is not together right now, and half of it getting shredded apart while the other half just watches on, and I think that is going to probably swing this game completely into Evil Eye's favor. A large wave of reinforcements coming from Evil Eye. Some good Storms going on. Laser Snipe will probably take this part of the engagement, but a huge army on the way now from Evil Eye here, and I think it is likely to clean up everything Laser Snipe has, and then he's going to be mining from just one base. Pretty good ramp storm. Does he have enough units storming the living daylights out of these zealots? But it looks like he's running out of units. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of storms though on some very, very clump zealots. Nexus is going down. There's not a reinforcement though, so that is it on the third base. And Laser Snipe falling down to just 75 supply. Appears to be out of steam. Nexus is cancelled, maybe killed, not sure. And of course Evil Eye expanding to a fourth base as he does this a little bit early on the probe transfer, but nothing left. And Laser Snipe says, "Ah, well, nicely played." And GG's. So in the end, Evil Eye takes the game. So I don't know, watching that game, the two main things I saw was, I think Laser Snipe had a little bit of a timing there when he got that initial Zealot Templar mix, didn't do too much with it when I think he could have. And the other thing was the coordination of the army. Too many battles Laser Snipe fought with like half of his army in another place, which you can sometimes get away with it in PvZ if you're not too like donatey, but like in PvP, your army has to fight together, or you just get overrun. And PvP is one of those matchups where you really need to fight good battles, because it's probably the easiest matchup where if you get overrun, you just kind of die. And the only thing I really saw from Evil Eye in terms of battles is just, you know, he ate a lot of storms. I think he basically ate every single storm. So, in the top right-hand corner as our white Protoss, we have Jordaddy. And in the bottom right-hand corner as our orange Terran, we have Mikami. And one comment I want to make on eating storms is that if you get into a big PvP where both of you have a boatload of Templar, like, you're going to be so busy casting your own storms that, yeah, honestly, you're not going to dodge too many storms. But in the game we saw, there was a period, particularly when he attacked into natural with all those Dragoons, where the only thing he had to do was micro his Dragoons and dodge storms, and he just basically just ate all the storms. Probably just attention elsewhere, but something to be wary of for future battles. So Mikami is, I believe, a C- Terran. I don't think he's particularly fond of TVP, which I guess I don't blame him. That is a common sentiment among lower ranked Terrans, as Protoss does tend to be ever so slightly easier to play, a little bit more, requires a little bit less babysitting. Basically, Terran is a lot easier to make mistakes that like hugely cost you. Like, is Terran, if you siege a little bit out of position against a Protoss, like you lose the game. You know, Protoss just annihilates your army. Whereas if you're a Protoss player and you start to attack into a Terran army that you don't want to, you pretty much just one right click, two right click, three right click, four right click away, and yeah, you lost 5 Dragoons, but other than that, you're fine. And Protoss has a few more obnoxious early game builds. Reavers dropping DTs, and holy moly, either this game is laggy or Mikami is got some spamming fingers, because that is a lot of APM. That, or he's doing the thing where you hotkey a building and just like hold down 1 and it puts your APM up over like 1,000 if you keep holding it. But judging from the way it's slowly dropping, he's obviously spamming it out. But if he's normally like 300 APM with spam and it's that laggy, I feel very sorry for these players. If your APM is doubled from lag, that is a laggy game. Especially if you've probably already set to extra high and then you still have that kind of lag. Those games are the worst. Alright, so Protoss is going to go ahead and go for straight to a core, no harassment zealots. And Mikami has his barracks up right on the ramp there. Getting Marine out. I think he's going to wall with the factory. He's getting almost to the point where he has a guess. Is he going to? The fact that his barracks is like up against this makes me think he is. And yes, indeed, he's going to go ahead and make the barracks factory wall. I remember when I first learned about that, I was amazed that that actually was a functional wall. That you could actually do that and have it work. Here comes the probe up right now. It's like, oh, what? I can't get by, huh? I was like, that can't possibly. That's like a huge gap. But somehow it's not. And in comes the SCV. Dragoon on the way. Oh, no range yet. Now, is he going to get range? Okay, he's going to get range. It's like, is he going to hold off on getting range? Try to freak Mikami out? Mikami is in a little bit of a dangerous spot there. Anytime you run between the minerals, you are risking getting that SCV drilled a little bit. becomes a little bit more of a problem if you're low on HP and want to keep it alive. Kind of hard to drill a 60 HP SCV. And okay, so Mikami is going to play a very, very safe game. Oh, he's going to actually just go straight up Siege Expand. Alright, so this is like the... I hesitate to say safest opening, but it is like the safest opening you can do against some things. Like, it's not as good against DTs. Like, Vultures with Mines, FD opening, not Vultures with Mines, but FD opening is way better against DTs than Siege Expand. But if it's like some heavy Dragoon pressure, then Siege Expand is fine. It kind of fell out of popularity because honestly it gets a slower CC than FD. Even though you start it faster, you have to float it out, so it ends up being slower. And of course, unlike FD, which offers you the opportunity to be aggressive against Protoss, you know, get out, get some mines on the map, have an idea of what's going on, Siege Expand basically keeps you cooped up in your natural. So it's largely fallen out of favor at pro level. You basically never see it. But I guess it's a comfortable way to expand. So that's what Mikami is going for here. And we can see Protoss looks to be playing a pretty standard one-gate... actually, I take that back. He's getting a one-gate robo. Looks like a one-gate robo expand. Now, he is cutting that Dragoon. If that is in... oh, no, he's got 3. Never mind. So that's normal. 3 Dragoons expand. Getting the robo. So Protoss playing completely standard. Mikami playing kind of old-school standard. But both players are going to go into a slightly more macro-heavy second phase. It looks like we're going to get 2 gateways here from Jordaddy. It's possible he's going to build an OBS here, but the fact that he left his probe here made me think he was going to make a 3rd gateway. About halfway to that Nexus. Oh, he sneaks an SCV out. We'll not be able to kill it, but with the Dragoons there, we'll be able to pick it off at the bridge, so Mikami will get no info out of this. And he's got 1 tank on the high ground, 1 on the low ground. Pretty safe defensive position there. And no, he just adds 2 pylons. I wonder where he goes with his gateways. I wonder what his layout is like. Maybe he's just going to go here and do that? We'll have to see. So 4 or 5 Dragoons out now for Jordaddy. Where's the observers? Oh, he's going for a shuttle. He's going to go 2 base into Reaver. Into a 3rd? Okay, well, this will be interesting. Could just be building a pylon here. Could be. Should start making 2 Zealots now and also throw down a Robo Bay. Nicely timed probe trans. Oh, he didn't send him to mine. Oh, so close to perfection. Okay, so we got the support bay ever so fractionally late. But definitely on the way to Reaver now. After this, you should make 2 Zealots. They're a lot better from the shuttle than a Dragoon is, unless, of course, Terran is going for Wraith. Then it's way nicer if you made the Dragoon. Alright, so the support bay is up. Reaver, is he paying attention? Ah, Reaver, okay, he's paying attention. Reaver, now we need 2 slots from here. Otherwise, just bringing the Reaver by itself is like not that good, because then the second you drop it, the tanks just shoot it, and it messes you up. 2 Vultures on the way out. And still got a probe here, but obviously sent that over there way early. Now, when you got 40 probes, is it really a big deal to not have 1 mining? Probably not. Maybe if you're, you know, Bisu and you're trying to do some really perfect timing, it would make a difference. But honestly, that goes unnoticed more or less at these kind of levels. All right, did he? Ah, he didn't. I was gonna bring a Dragoon at least. It's better with 2 Zealots. Maybe he's expecting race though, and just playing it safe. Doesn't want to get the shove donate. What? Don't do just the Reaver. Please pick up a... No. Okay. 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 Alright, got a few Vultures laying some mines here for Mikami. Does he have scanners? No. So he has no idea this is coming. He's got 1 turret there. He's got 1 turret there. Nothing here, though. So the Reaver has a nice flight path straight into the main, and no turrets are going to control its motion in the main. So, yeah, we'll see if he spots it. Oh, don't. Okay, that's going to give him a nice chance to get alert to this. Oh, he's going to stubbornly drop in the natural, and oh my god. Oh, I thought he was going to lose the shuttle. He's got to pick this up. Wow, that was... Oh, he does save the Reaver. Oh my god, that was... Alright. Sorry guys, that was a little rough. That was like anti-control. I don't know what exactly was happening there for Jordaddy. I don't know if he was focused on these Vultures harassing his 3rd or what, but it looked like he was trying to, but... Everything about that was not good. Like, I don't want to be mean, but that was like F level F grade on a report card with Reaver control. I mean, not only could he have just flown straight this way and gone into the main where he would have had a bunch of room, he just like dropped the Reaver and made almost no effort to pick it up while Siege Tank shot at it. So I think given that, Mikami is going to be a little more confident in his position now. Probably is not going to remake that yet, and he's going to explode some gateways now. Go up to, what is that, 7 gateways? So a bunch of those. Mikami going up to 5 factories. So he wants to go for some 2-base aggression. Oh, never mind, I lied. I should probably look at his base before I just say stuff. So going up to 5 facts, he's just going to go ahead and expand. Now given that Jordetti is taking a 3rd and went for that Reaver, which did absolutely nothing, it's going to be no problem at all for Mikami to get his 3rd up and running, provided he moves his units reasonably. A little bit of tech coming for Jordetti. I mean, obviously if he just floats his 3rd with like 1 Vulture, Protoss could run up there, but when Protoss goes Reaver, you know, you're going to have less units. If you haven't done any damage with that Reaver and just donated it, you're just not going to have the units needed to put pressure on the 3rd base. Now, Mikami floating out, so the 3rd is going to be a little bit faster for Mikami, especially if the SCV transfer is well timed. Going to lay some mines here outside of his 3rd base, which I like, until he can get depots or a wall built over here. At least I'm assuming he's going to lay mines. And the Observer is going to come right on down and see that. Oh, this is a very nice timed little SCV transfer. And also, that is kind of funny. Anybody notice anything funny about the natural? Anything that I just now look at that, the SCVs have to go so far. I wonder if that hurts your mineral mining. It might, but definitely the CC is a hex low. It should be right there. So Mikami is gonna have definitely inefficient gas mining and possibly inefficient mineral mining. And it looks like Jordetti is moving out with a boatload of zealots, which could be a little bit scary here for Mikami. He does not have many mines. The fact he doesn't have many mines... Oh, he's got... Oh, never mind. Oops. Oops. He needs to lay some mines. If he doesn't lay mines... that is a fuck ton of zealots, and if they are well spread, they will just come in there and get on the tanks and kill shit so fast. Now he's starting to get some mines. If he gets up a good minefield, this attack can't do anything. But if he doesn't get those mines down, that could be a really dangerous attack. Although he's starting to build up a few more Vultures in the natural. Making a surprising number of early Goliaths. I don't think he scouted anything that would trigger that. That's little heavy on the Goliaths. Here we go. Zealots running in. Vultures need to be pulled back a little more to the tanks. Doing a good job. And this should be held fairly easy from Mikami. I don't like the decision to throw the Vultures on top of the tanks, but way too much here for Mikami, and Protoss will have to pull back. Donates the vast majority of his army for a group of Vultures and a tank or two. Not the greatest of trades here for Mikami. Or for Jordetti. Sorry, excuse me. Who is getting into drops, getting his upgrade. Is that his +1? Probably, yes. About to have his +1. A little bit of weird pathing here. Maybe a bad rally point, causing for a silly battle. Sieging up a tank right at the front door. Going to push Protoss off that doorstep a bit. And what do we have down here? We have double Stargates. But of course, now when he was making those initial Goliaths, he had not scouted that. Possibly, though, just making those 2 Goliaths, because he did only make, I think, 2 Goliaths, in case Protoss was going to come in with some sort of shuttle and bust. I mean, which is, you know, he does have a robo. It's always a possibility. Double Forge, both of the 3rd. Honestly, not necessarily a fan of that, simply because, let's face it, your 3rd is a popular location for Terran to attack. And oh, we got the drop up here. But right now we're just attacking pylons. Good scouting drop though. Worth his weight in gold. Not gonna kill the Stargate though. Not gonna kill the Stargate. This is sort of a, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out where attention is for both players, but Protoss is definitely gonna come over here and force this drop to lift off. Oh, he's gonna push the issue. Alright, well, Protoss has Dragoons popping. Is he gonna get the dropship? No. So those Vultures will get down. And Protoss is a little slow to react. Okay, he's going to split these Vultures up just a little bit. Definitely going to do some damage to the probes right now, as there's 0 response from Protoss, and there are no units in here to like make the Vultures not have to manually target the probes. Now they will get cleaned up, and this dropship, unfortunately, forgetting to drop, so it is taken out. But you know, he got like 10 probe kills in the end, so in the end, not bad. JorDaddy very, very low on probes, especially for the 13-minute mark. Just 36 probes. Mikami has a much more healthy economy with 60 SCVs, and it looks like he has just decided, you know what, I don't think JorDaddy's enough stuff. I'm going to go for it, but way overextending with these vultures. Donates immediately 6 vultures. He has no mines on the map, remember. So a zealot-heavy army like this could be a problem. I think what happens is he scouted the carriers, and he's like, I need to go kill Protoss right now, and that usually opens a timing window, and it probably does. But he's going to need a little bit better army control over the next minute or two than what we saw right there, and definitely does need to reinforce. It looks like he's getting some good vulture production going back at home. And the... oh, actually, never mind. He's just dual Stargate Arbiters. Wow. Figured with 2 he was going to go to carriers, but that is clearly not the case. Getting stasis, and Mikami, I guess, decided, I don't feel all that good with this army with, like, no vultures out here in the middle. And now he's sending a few over to harass, but unfortunately they are in move command coming in to attack those dragoons. And honestly, Mikami is in a pretty comfortable position. If he wants to just sit and macro up at home, it's totally fine for him. I mean, JorDaddy's economy is really, really poor right now. Of course, by the same token, JorDaddy does not have that great of an army. So certainly if Mikami is a little better with his army control and gets some mines down in front, he definitely has the option to push it this timing. Normally, as a Terran, you can't just go push it like 140 supply. You know, if Protoss is just kind of playing standard macro toss. But in this case, JorDaddy has lost a lot of units, doesn't have that strong of economy, and we can see Mikami is coming up here with his push. He gets all his tanks sieged. Zealots have a nice angle. High Templar coming in here just to have Storm. Those Zealots, though, are going down very fast. And these Dragoons, JorDaddy needs to back up right now, but he is going to lose quite a bit to this. All the Zealots go down. Does save most of his Dragoons. Hopefully he is macroing Zealots back at home. That is very nice to see. Almost all Zealots, although a few Gateways not being used. Reinforcement Vultures coming up from Mikami. Big reinforcement from Mikami, who has been doing a good job with his macro back at home. And that will make this hard from Protoss, who needs to run away from this right now. He doesn't have the units to fight this, and if you lose the Dragoons, Arbiters coming out. Tanks are kind of clumped, though. Where's the reinforcements? Maybe it's not enough from Mikami right now, although, just as I say that, he runs out of Zealots, and the tanks kill everything. 3 Science Vessels. Needs a Goliath or 2 in this army. Otherwise, these Arbiters are going to be super obnoxious, and perfect time, I guess, to unsiege if reinforcement of only Zealots is coming. However, Mikami's army is sort of splitting up and not fighting together, which might allow these Zealots to get a few more tank kills than they otherwise should. Reinforcements here, though, a little slow. Oh, those Vulture reinforcements are so good against these Zealots. Keep the tank count from getting eaten into. Arbiters continue to be fascinatingly obnoxious. He has EMP'd them, which is good. He won't be getting a cluster of tank stasis anytime soon. There we go. 3 or 4 Goliaths coming out now. And JorDaddy just defending at home, but with no army on the map. He's in danger of just being 1A, 2A, 3A right here by Mikami. He is getting a round of Dragoons out. Will they be out in time? Will Mikami realize how little JorDaddy has? All right, there is... wait, no, there's not a Templar in there. I thought I saw a Templar. There is not one. He just EMP'd his own stuff, maybe expecting the Zealots to run on top of his army. Sieges up all the tanks, pulling the Vultures back. Much better Vulture positioning here than in the previous fight at the Natural. Those Zealots are going down fast, and JorDaddy is definitely going to lose his Natural. I don't see any way he can save that. He is adding gates at another base, but nothing he can do, says GG. Oh shit, I just realized that. Can you EMP your own vessels? You probably totally can, right? Like... I just realized that would be a good way to BM. Just EMP your own vessels when you're about to win. I really want to know if that takes away your vessel energy. Obviously it does if you EMP the enemy's vessels. Is there some thing in Brood War that detects whose EMP it is, and if it's your own EMP, it doesn't take away your thing? And yeah, Mikami, even with a misplaced CC, strong enough to take that game. So, spawning in the top right-hand corner as our Orange Zerg, we have Pisan. And in the bottom left-hand corner as our Teal Terran, we have Fozzik Pain. Shit, what map is this? Is this Queensbridge? I'm guessing Queensbridge. Hell yes, I guessed correctly. So we're playing on the map Queensbridge. It is, I believe, a foreign-made map. And it is a 2-player map. So same sort of starting positions as you see on Bloody Ridge, but a very different map than Bloody Ridge. So, what to say about this game? Fozzik from Team Pisan. I think Pisan is from Dragon Herb as well. Pisan, I believe, is a C- Zerg. And Fozzik is, he was already a strong player coming into CPL, in all honesty. I think he was close to C, or maybe it was C. But Fozzik has practiced a lot and has definitely one of the more improved players, and I believe he has hit C+. And I know from talking to him, Fozzik is extremely confident in his TVZ. So, knowing that, I would have to say that Fozzik is the huge favorite for this series. Now, he did struggle a little bit last week with the lurker drops and counterattack style play from Shoot. Shoot! He played a Zerg last week. Who was it? Does anybody remember those games? I should totally remember this. This is making me a bit sad right now. But either way, those games were surprisingly close. Like, he did a whole bunch of damage with Wraiths, and in both games he was in some danger at a couple points. The one game he handled the drops a little bit better, was a little more prepared. I can't believe I can't remember who the Zerg was. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it out, you know. Alright, so we have a 12 hatch here from Pisan. And the SCV going out to scout for Fozzik. Of course, another nice luxury of a two-player map. You don't have to double scout. You can just go scout right away and know, okay, I can drop a CC without making any Marines, or I need to block my ramp, or some intermediate case of the two. IC Cup. International Cyber Cup, I think, is what it stands for. But everybody just calls it IC Cup. Alright, so two hatch tech play from Pisan. Lurker, Muta, what will it be? What do you guys think? I honestly have no idea. With the bridges, actually, I don't think the bridges are over on this side of the map, though. I don't think you can completely bridge. Oh, yeah, it's laid out like this. Okay. But, so, I don't know. Lurkers could be interesting here. Never mind, you've got this pod. No, there's too much room. You can't zone off the map with lurkers the same way you could on, say, Destination. Definitely not possible. Easy to take bases with lurkers, but that's typical. SCV coming in here for Fozzik. He's going to go ahead and see, okay, I'm against some two-hatch play. Of course, the lair should start here quite shortly after a few more drone trips. What is that, 3 drone trips, 4 drone trips? One more. And is he on top of his lair? No, not 100%. Or is he? Okay, there we go. Pretty close, though. Loses about a second. Now lair on the way. So we'll either see a Hydra Den here in about, I don't know, what is that? 20 seconds, or we'll see him holding for a Spire. Couple Lings out right now. Try to pick off the SCV. I think Fozzik will keep it alive, though. Ling speed on the way, pretty typical. A few more Lings out. Can he catch it at the ramp? Probably, yeah. Drilled back to the minerals, so hard to actually get the kill. Lair about half done. Just looking to see that Hydra Den. We're getting the second gas. Is he going to put a Hydra Den? Not looking like it. Looking like we're going to see some two-hatch Muta. And Pisan going to put it all on his Muta Micro. But Fozzik is moving out here with 4 Marines across the map, which might work out. There are 4 Lings out for Pisan. And he might have speed. If he has speed, he should just destroy this. If he doesn't have speed... Oh, he's making more Lings. So he should completely destroy this, barring some really botched Ling control. In fact, this is dangerous for Fozzik right now. These Marines are going to get completely decimated with any sort of control, and then there's going to be a lot of speed Lings. So this is a really risky maneuver, and honestly, thinking about it more, here we go, running in with the Lings. Is the micro going to be good from Fozzik? It's a little bit good, but he's kind of pinned, he's kind of trapped, and he does kill a few Zerglings, but not that many, and now speed is done. Pisan should realize this and move across the map. A bunker should start immediately for Fozzik. It is not, though, so this could get a little bit dangerous. He's going to have to pull back to his ramp at the very least and block. There's no way he can possibly defend this if he just stays out in the open. If Pisan controls well. Oh, and he actually has gotten a Hydra Den, so he got a slightly late Hydra Den, not hugely late, but I did not expect that. I'm going to go straight into Hive, and I guess Pisan decides not to. I honestly don't know if I agree with that decision from Pisan. That was a really, honestly, not that good move from Fozzik, and the thing that surprised me that he did it is it's 2-hatch. Like, with 2-hatch, it's pretty standard to make, like, 12 Lings. I don't know if he just thought he was skimping on Lings, but I don't know. That was a bit of a risky move. It's going to be fine now, since Pisan wasted some time, and Fozzik is now got the depot up, well collected at the ramp. Oh, he's trying to run by, but he cannot do that. just enough Zerglings to be threatening, but look at the reaction time. Good reaction time from Fozzik, who moves back to the ramp. Medic out now, although the SCVs are kind of blocking from the medics, and suddenly the Lings do way more damage than I expected. But look at that, even Fozzik, even after having fallen back into the defensive position, still did a lot of damage. Imagine if he had gone in earlier, what the damage could have been. And now the situation is absolutely horrible for Fozzik with the Lurker Tech on the way. Ling's running around. He's lost all his Marines. He's got nothing in his front right now. Everything getting picked off. Now these Firebats will eventually clean up these Lings. Medics might help the SCV stay alive a little bit longer if they can collect themselves. Alright, Firebat Stims going in for it. Medic is there to keep it alive, so it does get those Lings cleaned up, but Lurkers morphing in the natural, so Pisan doing a nice job not getting overly distracted from his build there as he micros those Lings, and Hive on the way with Lurkers. So these are going to be some insanely fast defilers. It's going to be like, I don't even fucking know, like 8-minute defiler timing, 8-minute consume timing. Okay, Fozzik is aware, is going to go ahead and double bunker at the front, which should help him survive. He will need to throw up a turret here at some point to have enough detection. He is saving his scans to some extent. He threw down one, I think, to get a read on the tech. But now Lurkers coming out. Not a whole bunch of Lings, though. And, oh, I like this from Fozzik. Keeping these guys out here, and then, so that way when the Lurker... Oh, he's got to react, though. Oh dear. Oh, dear. Alright, he does not have very much in these bunkers. Pisan could possibly go for this if he wants to. He probably is not going to expect there to be almost nothing in those bunkers, but if you look at what's in there, it's like 2 Firebats and a Marine. Like, if he just bros 4 Lurkers, like right here, those bunkers get pretty fucked up, and you can't really pull SCVs to repair against Lurkers. So, yeah. Dangerous times here for Fozzik. Defiler round halfway to completion. Does he have any sort of tech? Look at that factory. This tech is going to be so late, and it's like... I guess that's the one thing, too, for Pisan, is he doesn't actually need to run in there right now, especially knowing... if he's aware. I don't know if he's stacked an Overlord, but given how far behind Fozzik's tech is, if he just sits here and brings down a Defiler, like, Fozzik is not going to be able to get out of here before his tech is done, especially with now, with these number of Lurkers. There's just no way that he's going to be getting out of here before the Defilers are done. I need to start Consume, but... Come on, Consume! Defilers aren't that great without Consume. There we go, Consume has started, so now it is going to be a major race. Fozzik is going to that starport, but he's got a long way to go to get a vessel with any sort of detection, and I don't think he'll be able to radiate the Defiler. He definitely has to start trying to push back the Lurkers the second his tank gets out, but man, this is a really dangerous, really tight timing window here that Fozzik is dealing for. He says, oh wow, he probably just now scanned the Defiler stuff and is thinking, oh shit, my tech is not timed well enough to deal with this. And that is a lot of Lurkers at the front. We've got like 10 Lurkers just ready to bust in here the second Consume is done, and Defilers are on the way. Literally as those Defilers reach the base, Consume is going to be done. And there's not going to be a vessel out. This looks really, really bad for Fozzik. And it's one of those situations where there's like nothing different he can do. Like, he can't get out on the map. There's nothing he can do. He just literally has to stand here and hope that he can somehow control his units, or that Pisan bungles his control. But Pisan 100% in the driver's train right now. Driver's train, driver's seat, whatever. Alright, he does get a tank out. Definitely does not have siege yet. He's like, he doesn't even have siege. This is so rough. He is about to get swarmed and almost certainly die. But we'll see. Can he mess up? He has made some Firebats. Like, that's like the only thing he can do. But unfortunately, Firebats tend to cluster, and this is so many Lurkers. Instantly, everything in those bunkers dying. Tries to save the units, but it's just not going to happen. So now the natural is busted. Next round of Defiler coming in. Lurkers charging in. 4 Lurkers burrow immediately. This is the last stand of the Firebats. Can they kill the Lurkers? I think they killed maybe one, but they are clustering up, and now he is forced out of his natural for sure. And Defiler continues to swarm forward. All he has to do is get into the main here and swarm this up, and it will be over for Fozzik. Look at all those Lurkers. So many of them. His Defiler's actually kind of cock-blocking himself at the ramp. Alright, so finally goes down, actually due to tank fire, and now he is flooding into the main. Lurkers coming. He has position over the barracks, and indeed all Fozzik can do is say GG. Pisan takes it with his super fast 2-hatch Lurker Hive build. Strong game there from Pisan. If that was a prepared build, I have to give him all credit. That was That was solid. I mean, he just rolled over Fozzik. Fozzik never had a chance. Now, I think Fozzik compounded his problems by moving out with those 4 Marines and then having trouble with Pisan Slings later that just left him with nothing on the map. You know, if he would have kept those Marines alive and had a presence on the map, then, you know, 3 Lurkers are going to have a hard time moving across the map. I don't know if you guys remember 1 or 2 of the Flash vs. Soul Key games from the Kespa days, but there were a couple games where Soul Key tried, I think it was maybe 3-hatch Lurker, but similar concept. And he would make Lurkers, and Flash just, like, picked every single Lurker off across the map without a Marine loss. And just really good control, and it's just hard to move Lurkers that way. Same map, Queensbridge. In the top right-hand corner, as the blue Protoss, we have Shoop-de-Whooper, and in the bottom left-hand corner, as the brown Protoss, we have F10 EQQ. F10 is a reasonably strong Protoss, I believe, around C rank, and Shoop-de-Whooper, I think, kind of the same thing. I want to say he is at least C-, but definitely both are solid players. So we should see a reasonably even match game here. Shouldn't be any huge disparity in skill. And Shoop-de-Whooper is up to some shenanigans though. So, hiding some buildings up here in the top corner. Will F10 EQQ smell that no good is up? Oh, it's going to be kind of close to seeing this. Oh man, I think this will stay hidden, but out of curiosity, how close? Oh man, that is so close. I think he can just hide 2 gateways. Definitely in the perfect spot. Definitely this is practice, this is rehearsed, so this is nice. But can he get 2? I don't think he can build. He has to build a second one up here if he wants it. That's got to be visible, right? Man, does he have this just perfect? Oh my god. Like, when the probe was here, I think he could just have seen it, but now that the gateway is building, he can't see it. So whether, if that's by intent that he built the gateways in this order, that's so good. If not, it's still kind of cool that it works out, but obviously F10 is about to realize, though, that the situation is not good. This probe is like trapped back here. This is actually kind of nice, though, because this actually protects the pylon, which means you'd have to kill the gateways. And now he's like, oh shit, there's nothing in the base. Alright, so he's going to have that moment where he's like, oh my god, immediately adds a second gateway, that's good. Probably needs to start getting a battery up or something. Alright, picks off the probe, I guess that's nice. Makes it a little harder for the Zealots to initially start picking off the probes as they pop out. But he hasn't found the gateways yet. He's going straight to his ramp. Oh, now he's getting suspicious, now he knows. He's like, oh shit. Okay, so first hit for F10 EQQ, that could be big. However, it is 1 gate against 2 for at least a little bit. If he can not lose too many probes and keep his Zealot somewhat alive, he'll have a chance to defend. But if he starts eating a ton of damage and or bleeding slots, this could escalate out of control really quickly. So we'll see how Shoop-de-Whooper chooses to play this. Right now, he's just kind of running around, taking some initial hits on that Zealot, comfortable to fight, coming in with 2 Zealots, and he's taking a little bit of damage. Now he's got his 2 gateways up, so it's just a question of can he hold off and take good enough initial engages to be able to defend this. So far, the micro has been pretty good, although Shoop-de-Whooper getting the first probe kill now and diving in onto the probes. Needs to be careful of mineral line drills, though. It does make Zealots stronger. However, the probe's sort of trapping F10 EQQ's own Zealot, and now it is 3 Zealots against 1. Is doing a good job keeping the fight in the mineral line. Does have the shield battery up, but the numbers very much in Shoop-de-Whooper's favor right now, and this Zealot was definitely having trouble. Does not want to be fighting 2-on-1, and he is doing a lot of that, trying to use the shield battery to his advantage. Probes are pulled, but all the probes are off the line. That's it for money. This situation is now really bad. You can't take all the probes off. You have to keep some mining. He will not be able to build Zealots in those gateways, so I think he has to defend in the mineral line, but he's fighting straight up, which is not the right decision right now. He just has to do his best in the mineral line. He can't afford to take fights in a bad situation, especially since he can't produce. But look at this, there's nothing in production, and 2 more Zealots are... Wait, where? Shoop-de-Whooper had a little glitch in his production, though, too, I guess. Oh, never mind, there's 1 Zealot out. But down to, what, 10 probes for F10 EQQ. We can see Shoop-de-Whooper actually is now having the probe count lead. With just a little more damage, he'll be able to go. But one of the Zealots is trapped, fighting 2-on-1, not the fight you want to take. And again, 2-on-1, the probes are completely out of position. He's trying to drill them, but again, that is no mining for him. He gets that last Zealot out, but again, he's not even making with the money he has. And Shoop-de-Whooper is never quite getting into control of this game, but it feels like he's going to. The shield battery definitely helping, and Shoop-de-Whooper perhaps fighting a little bit aggressively in the mineral lines. I mean, these drills are definitely handicapping his Zealots, but F10 EQQ gradually being whittled down, economy down to just 7 probes. One zealot left running around. More zealots continue to pop out for Coach-Pupil. F10 EQQ is going to get one more out, and now the numbers are actually in favor of F10 EQQ with a shield battery, and Coach-Pupil losing this zealot. So I think at this point, F10 EQQ will have held this off. However, economically, it is Coach-Pupil in the superior position and way ahead in tech. Look at that difference. Already has a cyber core on the way. Alright, so we have 3 zealots, 2 zealots for Coach-Pupil. We got 3 though for F10 EQQ. So at this point it's just a matter of defending probes. I'm sure he'd like to clean up these gateways. He cannot quite do that yet. We can see Coach-Pupil is adding a gateway in his main. And honestly now there's a concern if he doesn't clean up these gateways and Dragoons start to pop, that would be a problem. Alright, sending 2 zealots in, but with no zealots here, this is not a good fight. F10 EQQ should not be taking this fight in his mineral line right now. Oh my god. He's gonna lose all of his economy. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh, just no. And he says GG. He realizes that was too little economy. So close to holding it, but not quite. Of course, if you are going for one gate tech and someone gets 2 proxy gates in your base, that's always going to be hard from the start. So game 2 between F10 EQQ and Coach-Pupil on Fighting Spirit. Pretty common pick. Everybody feels comfortable on Fighting Spirit. I mean, let's face it, everyone plays it for most of their games, especially when you're new. So in the top right hand corner as the orange Protoss, we have F10 EQQ. And in the top left hand corner as the brown Protoss, we have Coach-Pupil. Now, I don't know too much about Coach-Pupil's play overall, so I don't really know what to expect from him. I don't know if that was just a way of starting the series to throw F10 EQQ off a little bit, or if he likes to play heavily aggressive. I don't know. I know F10 EQQ is kind of your typical macro toss. However, we can see that having died to a proxy 2 gate, he wants in on the action himself and is headed straight to the middle of the base to build 2 proxy gates of his own. And if Coach-Pupil has watched Effort's recent tutorial, he will know that Effort says that if you take your opponent out with an aggressive build, you can usually expect him to do the same back to you, and will prepare accordingly. But he may not be aware of that at all, and of course there's no guarantee. And in fact, I think Effort says if you know your opponent's tilting, you can expect him to be aggressive. So you have to kind of know who your opponent is, because there definitely is a tendency where you get pissed off and people are just like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna proxy this asshole back. Gateway down for Coach-Pupil. Not a 9-9. Wait, just one proxy gate? Just a little? Maybe this isn't a full all-in then. Or is he gonna send a probe and do 10-12? I'm sorry guys, but I have to fundamentally object to 10-12 center gates. That makes no sense. Like, you're killing your economy, you're sending out a probe early, you're doing all this stuff. Like, at least make some fast gateways. But 10-12 is not a scary gateway timing. It's not even faster gateways than your opponent. You don't have earlier zealots. Oh wait, he's adding a forge. Okay, well, that's something different. Let's see how he tries to play this. This will be a little bit interesting. So it's going to be zealot and cannon pressure, basically. Trying to use the early zealots to force him back, and then getting some cannons up and pushing up. The key here for F10 EQQ is going to be getting a cannon on the ground, high ground. You know, I've seen some people try to start on the low ground. It can be okay, but you know, once Dragoon Tech comes out, that'll get pushed back. Now, if he can get a cannon down on the high ground, then he's got a chance to make it work. So, doing a little bit of probe harass, scouting around a bit with that probe. Just being generally long. Let's see if he puts down some mana pylons. Yeah, always nice to do if you're going to be aggressive. And of course, if you don't take care of these immediately, guess what this segues nicely into? Throwing down a cannon or 2. And the zealot now has to come back and defend, which will keep the ramp nice and open. Second probe coming in, and oh, if it gets hidden while he does this, oh, this would be really cool if F10 EQQ builds a pylon over here and then just micros his heart out over on this side. I would bet my life that Coach-Pupil never notices. He's got to keep the probe from going over there, though, idly. Otherwise, he will notice that cannon is coming. Oh, he hasn't built a pylon. Oh, he should do it. I think that would be really cool. Oh, but F10 EQQ running straight into the mineral line. Not the decision I think you wanted to make here. And donates his first zealot for free. Seems to be aware that something is up. Oh, he's so close to seeing that. Will he? No, he doesn't see it. Alright, next zealot coming in. But unfortunately, he's already lost his initiative with the Zealot, having donated it into the mineral line. You can't run. Ah, he's getting super drilled again, getting just massively stacked on by these probes. He's going to lose it for nothing. And this, oh, he's trying to get cannons up here, so maybe that's part of it. Wait, what the fuck? He just started to build a forge. Was he trying to wall himself in? Now he's trying to make a gateway. This is just not working right now. He has not built a pylon with this. I don't know exactly what F10 EQQ is trying to make happen here, but it was like the coordination just never materialized. He dived into the mineral line, lost the Zealot for almost nothing, and then never got anything going with his cannons. I thought he was going to be cute with this, but all he did was build a few pylons, and now this is completely shut down from Coach-Pupil. In no danger at all. The only thing I would like to see is having built a core, but I think Coach-Pupil saw the early Zealot timings and thought he was getting proxy gated, so he just threw down a second gateway. But 100% held. Still going to bleed in a few Zealots, but we can see 16 probes from Coach-Pupil, only 10 from F10 EQQ, given his earlier bad economy. Coach-Pupil again drilling the living daylights out of these poor Zealots that F10 EQQ keeps sending completely into the mineral line. You have to pick your spots wiser. You have to kind of dance in here, back out, never get into a place where the probes can just drill you down. Oh, now, holy shit, okay. Now he just goes, what? I think at this point, oh wait, some of these are Coach-Pupil's buildings. I thought he was building like his own core and shit. No, he's trying to wall himself in. Oh, this is, oh my god, could this actually possibly work? He seems to have somehow found a position where he can wall himself in. Wait. Oh, that is his core. He did build a core and a forge as a wall. Oh, if he would have done this earlier, this could have been interesting, but... Oh man, is he going to get a single cannon up? Oh, he's got 2 probes on it. Nice glitching. So this is like perfectly held by Coach-Pupil. Wow. The core is going to finish. The Zealot is trying to do some damage in the mineral line and getting drilled, and all of a sudden, I don't know where Coach-Pupil's Zealots are. This is a wild game. I don't even know what to make of it. So again, everything off the line. Dragoons are on the way, though, which will allow this to be cleaned up completely. I don't like this into all the probes off the line thing. He's getting his drill a little bit better, but then F10 AQQ just says GG. That almost worked. If he would have done that a little bit sooner with just 2 forges, that could have been interesting. But Coach-Pupil knows his rules for how to drill, so he drills that probe over. And our final little series here between Stardom and DNH. Obviously, Queensbridge was the designated first map of the day. So in the top left-hand corner as the white Terran, we have Stardom. And in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Terran, we have DNH. A little bit of discussion of Pokemon. I have also never played any new ones. All I have played is Silver and Gold. That was like where I stopped playing. Actually, I lied. I played Crystal too, but I didn't play anything past that. So I know nothing of the later ones. So unsurprisingly, both players opening up with barracks. DNH putting the barracks here. And if you're wondering, it seems like a weird barracks place, why is he putting it right there? Well, the simple answer is, it's the closest to Stardom's base, which means that he will lift that off and get scouting information that much faster than if the barracks is placed there. Which, given the moving speed of barracks, saves a good 10-15 seconds, a little bit earlier intel. Both players look like they're opening up reasonably normal right now, grabbing gas. Stardom, another one of the quote-unquote low APM geniuses of the league. Not the fastest player, but tends to have smart builds and good decisions, and allows him to be a solid C- Terran. DNH, I believe, is in the same department, but more of your kind of standard player, combination of mechanics and builds. Barracks finishing up for DNH, and for Stardom, no Marine for Stardom, no Marine for DNH. We'll see if he lifts this off immediately in Scouts, or makes 1 Marine, or what his plan is, but right now, it's just hanging out. Factory goes down for DNH. Stardom puts down his own factory, so DNH ever so slightly fast on timing. DNH is going to go ahead and make a Marine, which makes sense. Want to get rid of that scouting SCV. 1 on gas, so DNH presumably not intending to be hyper aggressive here. You can see the same is true for Stardom, so I don't think we're going to see Stardom. Definitely 2 facts from time to time, Don't think we'll see that here. Pretty hard to do that with just one gas. Marines out for both players. Should chase out those scouting SCVs. And interestingly, DNH has not lifted his barracks yet, despite seeing everything. Has decided that he wants more than just one Marine. Honestly, I would think with the ramp he'd be fine. You know, your timings are the same. You know, Stardom's only made one. Stardom lifts his barracks, floats off. DNH lifts his. This is like they're doing the exact same thing as each other. Just watching each other like, yeah, we'll just copy each other. Agree to do the same stuff. DNH setting his Marines up there at his choke. I can probably deny any SCV. There's a slight chance SCV taking this path could shoot by and not get fully hit by this Marine, but I don't think either player is even going to try to scout until their barracks gets there. Vulture out, we can see Machine Shop. Alright, so DNH and Stardom continue to do the exact same thing. DNH doing it ever so slightly faster. Ever so slightly faster if they both come back to 3 on gas. Okay, we have our first deviation. DNH has left 1 on gas. Stardom has put all 3 back on gas. And DNH is going to drop a second factory? Looks like it. Looks like it. Second factory. Stardom doing the same. And Stardom starts tank production. DNH starts tank production? Vulture production. Okay. Getting a few more deviations. DNH getting all of his guys back on gas. Possibly just DNH a little slow to get guys on gas. I don't know TVT openers enough in detail to tell you specifically if that was intentional or if he just forgot to put guys on gas for like 10 seconds. But both players going up to their 2 factories. Stardom is going to go ahead and research siege barracks, passing each other's by. Not quite in vision. Interestingly, DNH appears to be scouting a little more towards the main. Stardom is a little more directing his barracks towards the natural. And DNH upgrading Vulture speed, so we're going to have a little bit of early Vulture initiative here for DNH, but if Stardom just stays back in a defensive position with his tanks, those Vultures will not be able to do a whole lot of damage. Second add-on here for DNH, who might go into double tank production. Interesting. Alright, man. See you later. And a third factory coming up for DNH. And Stardom has his siege mode done. Now I'll be interested to see how he uses that. Does he just want to get out on the map early with siege tanks and set up a position and take his third, or does he want to get right down here in DNH's face and siege up and try to establish some sort of like early contain play? Yeah. How do ladder ratings work? Are there any A- or A+? Yeah, there is on IC Cup. On Fish, it's different. It's like just F-, F, D. There's no E. No, there is E. There's F-, F, E, D, C, B, A, and S.
So you're streaming on Twitch?
Yeah.
Do you have access to streaming on Korean or whatever? What was that?
No, I wouldn't have it. You need like a Korean SSN and stuff to stream on Afrika.
I mean, couldn't you just get a VPN?
No, you actually need a Korean SSN. Like, you need a Korean social security number.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they're pretty serious. Like, you have to have. There's some stuff that's hard. Even to play.
SSN,
Even to play on Fish, I think for a while. Maybe I don't know if they lifted that requirement, but I think to play ladder or something, they were actually requiring like a Korean phone number.
Wow.
So, all right, we got some vultures running across the map here for DNH. And some tanks running across the map from Stardom. They're both horribly out of position, so these... Oh! Is DNH going to run in these vultures? Could do a lot of damage. There's not a tank coming out for Stardom right now. Chance to kill a ton of SCVs. Stardom is actually going to come back and chase this really quick. Marines are blocking at the ramp, but they can only do that for so long. However, the next tank is out for Stardom. Vulture starting to lay some mines. We'll see if Stardom can avoid taking damage. It looks like he's mostly averted the crisis. Those mines don't even get the tank down to just 3 vultures. Losses should not be huge here, especially as Stardom's army collects himself. Those mines should go down fairly easily. Trying to snipe off those last 2 vultures, sieging up a tank. Just 1 vulture left, 1 hit away from dying. Mines are not doing anything. Stardom playing this extremely safe, almost too safe, causing him to lose an extra SCV or 2. But that appears to be reasonably well handled. We can see, though, that DNH's SCV count is a bit better, as he did pick up some kills in that battle. Tank's also killing off an SCV or 2. And Stardom on the way to 4 fags, getting his +1. And now DNH is trying to lay up a lot of mines, and I think he's going to now try to threaten Stardom fairly heavily in his natural so that Stardom doesn't move out and set this contain. Like, he wants to threaten counters with the vultures, mine things up, make Stardom a little bit nervous to leave, because the last thing you want is to let your opponent set up this awesome position right outside your base and just have you choked out on map space. Alright, so Stardom finally gets back to building that CC, and now is just going to play it safe, hanging out at home. You can see we've got some minefields here, we've got some minefields there. Definitely has just made it a lot harder for Stardom to move out of his base now. DNH really starting to get a healthy SCV count. Stardom still lagging behind a little bit. And, oh, that's just a mine. I was like, am I missing harass in the main? But it was just a mine. And who was the guy in the background? That is a friend of mine who was staying the night after we went out last night. And no, he does not play Brood War, but he's heard me talk about it enough that, like, he knows some things. Alright, so third command center for DNH actually beats Stardom to getting his third base, and beats him by quite a bit because he's actually built it at his base. Stardom is instead going to have to float that command center over a long, tedious journey to... Where's he going to go with it? He's probably going to go to this base, but he could float to this base, but that is a long float. That's a journey for a CC. Alright. Oh, uh-oh, DNH with a tank out in front. Oh, mines, but tanks are pretty good at clearing mines. Alright, everything sieges up now that there's one tank. Oh, that was so disappointing. Most of the tanks fighted the Vulture. I was like, this is about to be the most dead tank on the planet. It was going to take like a full control group of tank shots from Stardom's slight overreaction there. But now Stardom cleaning up the last remaining things at third. Okay. Mine should go down easily here. He's so close to it. It's going to block it. Okay, he notices it. Oh, he actually walked into it with the tank. What is CPL tour versus whatever? Oh, I see what you're saying, like an individual tour, yeah. Mines, but tanks usually deal with them okay in large groups, so yeah. Oh, but we've got again the Vulture counterattack, and the SCV transfer is missed. And honestly, DNH is more worried about microing elsewhere, as these Vultures basically just attack commanded into a well-defended natural. But again, it freaks Stardom out, and Stardom comes back across the map. So Stardom just cannot get across the map. DNH continuing to freak Stardom out, pulling him back out of position, or back into defensive position over and over again. So Stardom, for the third time, tries to move across the map, and it looks like third time might be the charm. Alright, tank there. That tank is dead. But now Stardom is just going to bully his way down here. Doesn't look like he's intending to siege right now. Just on move command, ripping here through the high ground. I think he wants high ground position. But will he go further? Oh dear, okay. Oh, loses a tank across the bridge to those mines. Scan going down, just one tank. So Stardom right now is just on the A-move patrol, just bullying his way across the map. Where are DNH's units? They are kind of... He's got a few units everywhere, but they're not collected, which is allowing Stardom to roll over this a little bit. Okay, never mind. Here's finally DNH's defensive line, which will hold Stardom off from just running DNH over in his natural, which for a second I was looking around, I was like, where is everything? Is he just going to get run over at his natural? Reinforcements for Stardom a little bit on the slow side. You can see DNH has opened up a pretty big supply lead, in large part due to that initial significant economic advantage. Oh shit, he's Stardom continuing to bleed some tanks out. And okay. Luckily those Vultures were there, otherwise he would have eaten it. Eaten it hard. Science facility down. Armory, second armory? Yeah, second armory on the way for Stardom. Who is not going, interestingly enough. Oh, it's because he doesn't have the science facility. Never mind. You need science. Oh, no, he's got it. I would honestly probably cancel. Well, it's halfway done. I wouldn't cancel it. But +2 attack is by far the most valuable upgrade in TVT. Because when you hit +2 attack, you reach this magical point where your siege tanks will 2-shot other tanks in siege mode versus 3-shot, which obviously makes a huge difference in engagements. And Stardom now moving across the map, trying to decide where he wants to set up. You can see DNH just playing this very defensively. I mean, this is pretty safe. The only thing I don't like about this is he's basically giving Stardom free position on the map, saying that, hey, if you want to come and siege up anywhere, you are more than welcome to do it, and I am not going to try and stop you. But Stardom is not really setting anything up. He's kind of just hanging out. So now Stardom moves up onto this high ground pod, and DNH sending some vultures out to harass. Oh, this base is so vulnerable. Jesus. Like, if he just runs over, yeah, he can just run over there and, like, kill all the SUVs there. Alright, Stardom has slowly worked his way over to this high ground pod, but looks like he's a little uncertain right now where he wants to position his army. He comes back over here to clean up a few vultures of DNH. In fact, he's going to clean up all of these vultures of DNH, having a little trouble with his vulture control. And now we're going to have a little bit of battle on the high ground, and DNH's army maybe is a little bit caught out here, but he gets up siege way faster than Stardom, who again is just going for the A move power. But I think DNH has enough tanks sieged up that he will at the very least trade okay with Stardom. Stardom will take the war, but man, Stardom lost a lot to kill that small group of tanks. Lost a lot, and is only left with 5 or 6 left over. We can see DNH has a ton of tanks, and look at the supply difference out of that. That did not go well for Stardom. For a moment, it looked like it was going to go amazing. It looked like DNH had just left his tanks out here. He was cut off, but then he sieged up, and Stardom just kind of kept trying to A-move over that, and the, obviously, siege damage. Getting the job done. So DNH working off of 6 factories, Stardom working off more factories than that for sure, but DNH with a very commanding supply lead. And no player really wants to set up a position on the map, which is making this an interesting TVT. It's feeling more like they're trying to play TVP or something like that. They're kind of walking around the map and they're just like having one-on-one fights with slightly more mobile armies. It's not your typical static, set up a position, control the map sort of TVT at the moment. And again, Stardom coming down onto the high ground. Are we going to have another big A-move battle? And again, DNH with this weirdly cut-off force of pure tank. Will Stardom try to bully it again? No, this time he's a little bit faster to siege up, but he doesn't have enough tanks to just run over this, and DNH is actually just going to retreat out of here, not feeling confident enough to engage this particular battle. So now Stardom, for the first time, will gain control of this high ground pod, but... and then he just goes and sieges on the low ground. Alright, I guess he wants to work his way down here to DNH's third. Sieging up, definitely going to roll over the last of these tanks, but DNH has plenty of tanks back at his natural and a shit ton of dropships if he ever decides he wants to use them. And, Stardom again just getting way too aggressive. Oh my god, holy mine. I mean, he might get up here, but it's like with one tank. He keeps throwing his entire army into these positions. And I'm sorry, like when those dropships come out, there we go, this will be cleaned up. And I mean, DNH has a lot of fucking tanks and a lot of fucking dropships, and Stardom does not have a lot of fucking dropships, and he doesn't have any race. So yeah, DNH is about to have a huge mobility advantage here in a sec. His dropships literally have not been used. Beautiful, beautiful array of newly minted, unused dropships that have been collecting dust for like 4 or 5 Starcraft minutes. Stardom going, I don't know where. I guess he's clearing out a little bit for the third, and I have no idea what the hell these tanks are doing, or what this group of units is doing. Like, he's not leaving anything in sieged up positions. He's playing this super hyper mobile Terran style. Like, I honestly, usually I can tell pretty clearly what Stardom's game plan is, but in this game it's not clear to me. Like, he moved his entire army to clear a mine. I don't know. It doesn't seem like Stardom's at his best right now, that's for sure. But outside of that, I don't know really what his TVT game plan is right now. Also, this Nightbot thing is kind of funny to watch. Like, I put it on just so people could control music, but apparently it also deletes messages and shit, but I have no idea how that works. So at some point, Stardom's gonna see the dropship, so, but I was gonna say at some point I need to figure out how that works. Alright. So dropships are headed, and Stardom is immediately headed to his main to try to defend this, and he will get back in position. I don't think DNH should drop here. Maybe he can drop all the way up here, but there's nothing up here worth dropping. Oh shit. Okay. He does get the drop off. That is a lot of tanks. There's a lot of tanks sieged up. He is over the factories. Can Stardom clean it up? Tanks going down, firing off a ton of shots. Let's check the upgrades. 2. Okay, both have the 2 upgrades, so both are going to 2-shot each other. And Stardom is not doing the best job at this, running in tanks on just attack mode, and they are just all dying. And now finally we see the Vulture run through here, so Stardom is losing his 3rd, and I think Stardom is about to lose control of this game unless he pulls a serious rabbit out of the hat, because his army is just slowly trickling in here, unfortunately more or less suiciding to these tanks, as there's just too much action going on right now for Stardom to keep up with. Everything is dying. Look at this flood. These tanks for DNH are being utterly insane. Stardom honestly kind of melting down to that drop, and DNH takes the game. Which will take us into our final game between Stardom and DNH. On Circuit Breaker, the map Stardom has chosen, feeling confident, avoiding everybody's favorite overplayed map, known as Fighting Spirit. So in the top right-hand corner, as our White Terran, we have INS DNH. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as our Teal Protoss, we have Stardom EMG, who has his own team named after him. His team is literally Stardom and the Plebs. I don't know what kind of voodoo sorcery he pulled off, but he got his team to name themselves after him. He must have done something amazing. I have not heard tales of what that thing was, but let's face it, he's got a team named after him. Stardom says phasers and Lumix choose it. Stardom must have paid Phasix and Lumix, phasers and Lumix, quite a bit of money. I'm sure there were some major transactions going on in the background. Stardom probably paying out, like, you know, $1,000 in cash to both of them. Be like, guys, if you pay for this, I will totally give you a ton of money if you just name the team after me. Like, I will be your secret backer. Shockingly, both players are building depots. Almost equally as shocking, both players are building depots in places that make the SCVs spawn slightly closer to the minerals. Which means both of them, obviously, either that's blind dumb luck, or both of them have played enough Brood War to have picked up a few things along the way. They may not have picked up how to play like Flash yet, but not many people have, so I can't fault them for that. Evil Eye saying, I can't tell whether Stardom would be a good guy or a bad guy Transformer, and in fairness, it's a legit question. Now that he says that, I'm not going to get that out of my head for quite a while. Alright, so DNH opts to place the barracks forward again at the edge of natural. And Stardom opts to build the barracks in his own base. Faust is Zerg from the navel down, but Protoss from the navel up. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. Alright, Stardom goes down for Command Center, is what I almost said. Command Center goes down for Stardom. Appears to be positioned correctly, although for some reason, I think because of the way the minerals arc, it always feels wrong. I look at it and I think, no, I fucking place it too low. Because I feel like, I feel like the minerals should be at the bottom of it, and I always want the CC to be like in here, and then I'm like, no, that's okay. It's okay. Don't panic. Calm down. So DNH surprisingly making almost a wall-y thing. You don't usually see walls in TVT. Not this really is a wall. But you just don't see walling in TVT because honestly if someone makes a few siege tanks and walks up to your front door, you just lose the wall and it's just a waste of buildings. And you don't really need to wall anything to defend. And oh, we're gonna have a little SCV scouting party. Neither of them finding each other quite yet, and they'll have to wait. In fact, Stardom will have to wait, or DNH will have to wait quite a bit longer. Unless, of course, he's actually intending to do something sneaky with this SCV. No, okay. I wasn't sure for a second. He went all the way up there. I was like, is he gonna build a command center? Is he gonna do something crazy? Ah. Alright, factory, unsurprisingly, for DNH. Factory, unsurprisingly, for Stardom. Pretty typical stuff right now for both players. Actually, a bunker here from Stardom. Interesting. DNH opting for oh, DNH went command center first. Which I guess then explains this a little bit more. Indeed, if you're going to go command center first, you're obviously going to have slow vultures and slow tanks, which means you will need a little bit more help if the opponent is making an early vulture or two. Although, in truth, I would think you'd need a bunker. Like, I would think if he just went vultures and your factories are this late, you just get these Marines microed down pretty quickly. Well, the SCV goes down fast for Stardom, who sees absolutely nothing. Well, he saw the gas, probably. So probably knows there's a CC up right now. Factory's just about done for Stardom as well, and Stardom going into a pretty quick armory here. Now, if he can stay on top of his upgrades, that would give him a pretty fast +2, which would be interesting to see play out if the game goes long. Except not into the command center first game. You're not into like 10 minutes of just pure macro with nothing happening. That isn't the most exciting game. Actually, the worst kind of games are the kind of games that go into crazy macro games. Where, like, you know, I don't know, let's say it's PvT, whatever, right? Where, like, both players play super macro heavy. You know, Protoss takes, like, three necks off of, like, one gate, and then Terran, you know, like, mine doubles, and they build up a huge army, and then it just ends super fast, because one side takes, like, a horrible engagement. So you spent, like, 15 minutes of watching just macro for this hopelessly one-sided engagement, and you're just like, oh my god. This game was kind of building up like it could go into a cool macro game, and then this happened. Those are probably the games that make me cry inside the most. Alright, so obviously upgrade started pretty fast for Stardom. Academy on the way. Academy done for DNH, so DNH can have a little bit faster scouting information. Does have that starport up, making some vultures, getting mines. Oh, I didn't realize I did that. But I guess it's possible that I'd be yawning right now. I mean, I did only get like 2 hours of sleep last night. And even with my caffeine, so I wasn't completely falling asleep all the time during the cast, which is a real issue. It's possible that I still yawn. Yes, I wouldn't doubt it. By the way, welcome Except. It's been quite a while, but I'm pretty darn sure you definitely wrote a streaming guide, right? Like, I'm not going crazy, because I want to say for sure it was like one of your guides that like initially taught me how to set up my stream back in the days when we were all sort of learning how to stream and use like FMLE and all that shit, like Adobe and whatever. If it's not you, I apologize, and I'm obviously going a little bit insane, but I swear that was like, what, 2009, 2010? Something like that. I could be wrong. But let's see. Oh, I heard a drop. What? What? Oh no, I heard a bunker being ungarrisoned. Yes, I was right. I'm not going insane. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. It was such a pain in the ass to stream. Now it's just like you open obs, keep some shit up, and works fine. But back then, everybody streamed on live stream, and you get these horrible grainy streams, but it was still awesome because we'd never gotten to watch first-person view very much. Alright, so barracks being picked off, and now the drop actually is happening for real. Vulture's trying to get some damage done. Some mines laid at the ramp. Scan goes down. Should be able to clear that out fairly easily. Vultures right now taking their time to pick off some Marines, so not getting any kills. And these mines will delay the army a little bit, but these Vultures going to be cleaned up fairly easily. And is this a second dropship? Alright, we're coming in. We did the first. Now we come in with dropship number 2. Unloading the Vultures. Now we've got the main cleared out, and Stardom totally not expecting that, and I don't blame him neither with I. Very few people
just take the dropship back and forth and ferry vultures in. So should be able to get a few SCV kills here. However, was not targeting SCVs with any of the vultures down here. So I think he'll only get 3 or 4 kills. And oh my gosh, Stardom moves his army too deep into the main. And actually DNH just walks around it. So nice move here for DNH. A little bit of overkill reaction from Stardom to leave nothing at the natural. So these will get a few more kills than they should have. But finally will get taken out. Now, it would be really funny if he had like 2 more dropships and just buried stuff in like right as Stardom left. Be like, what the fuck? So where does that leave us? SCVs 35, DNH 43, so DNH ahead economically, but just a little bit. Kind of a subtle economic advantage here for DNH, and that is indeed reflected in the supplies. Oh, but this could be bad for Stardom. If he just tries to bust out, he's really trying to bust out across the bridges. For not having siege mode, this is working amazingly well, though. Wow. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect that at all. That looked like Stardom was like clustering up at the bridges. DNH had like 4 tanks in an arc, and then Stardom just like does some voodoo magic, and DNH's shit just all dies. So DNH with a large group of vultures laying a bunch of mines. He's gonna go dive in here on this, but I think he's got to run away. There's too many supporting vultures there. 2 tanks, yeah, okay, maybe you could try to mine that up. 4 tanks and 5 supporting vultures? No, no way. Alright, so we got a vulture run by attempt here for DNH. Stardom kind of is aware, though. He kept some tanks there. Could have pulled them back a little bit further, and now 4 vultures, 5 vultures into the main, laying some mines on the ramp. Tanks spawned at a wonderful time, though, for Stardom. Shouldn't be doing too much damage, but in the meantime, Stardom doing a good job and taking this opportunity to siege up at DNH's natural as he cleans up the drop, so that exchange going reasonably well for Stardom. And now the game's fairly close in supply, and look at this, DNH is taking the base over here at 12 o'clock, taking that base instead of this base for the simple reason that in TVT, actually it's true for most matchups, but in TVT gas is very important and you definitely want gas, so taking the gas base first. Stardom, we can see expanding to the mineral only base at the bottom, be able to flood some vultures, build a few extra turrets, whatever, and again DNH, just like last game, hits this play where he just starts making a bunch of dropships, but he seems to like to wait for a large number of them before he uses them. He did do a few more drops in this game than in last game, but his preference seems to be get a bunch of dropships and then start using them, not like get 2 dropships and use a mostly ground army supported with a few drops, but it's just like get a bunch of dropships and go drop some shit. Stardom has barracks here, so if he's paying attention at all, he will be aware of this, and he has kept a lot of stuff at home. Now, he will need to handle this a little bit better than last time. He's got some turrets up. Does he kill one of the dropships that goes in? No, all 4 make it in. Immediately unloading at the ramp. Just needs to siege up, but Stardom is again out of position, although DNH is not sieging that fast, probably because there were vultures on top of his tanks. But I don't think this drop will do the same kind of crazy damage as last time, as now Stardom is all sieged up at the ramp. He is going to go ahead and try to drop in the main, over here again at the factories, but this time there are only 3 tanks, which will not have the unstoppable splash damage, and spawning units should allow this to be cleaned up fairly easily for Stardom, and those mines will finish off that last tank, no problem. Does unload the last of his drop, going for an SCV kill or 2, but the tank isn't in siege mode, so it should only get like, what, 1 or 2 kills? It's got 1, can it make it 2? It's gonna make it 2, I think. 2 kills. Not sure if 2 kills on SCV is worth a tank. And by not sure, I mean it's obviously not, but I think he just wanted to unload that and get out of there with those dropships. Hello, hello, Sham2. How are you today? And now DNH is going to fly back home. The good thing for DNH is somehow he flew over like 3 or 4 turrets and lost no dropships at all. And it looks like he's going to immediately load up and go for another drop. What do we got? 5 dropships this time? As he continues to add to that count ever so slowly, heading on his way to his 2nd upgrade. Does Stardom have it? Stardom could, but no, Stardom does not. Oh, did he lose his armory in the engagement? And look at this, we have vultures running into the 3rd base here for DNH, absolutely destroying the SCV line. DNH knows it's not even worth it to try to run them away, might as well just mine their last minerals. And Stardom is just going to leave those vultures there to attack. And where did DNH's dropships go? What? Oh, they're just hanging out here. And he unloaded them all. Wait, what? What is going on? Oh, he unloaded them all to deal with these vultures. Okay, that's fair. So sending his tanks, sending his vultures over here to deal with all of the vultures of Stardom. Unfortunately for DNH, his vultures way out in front of his tanks, so basically donates his vultures while they were disconnected from the tanks. And now DNH sieging in a very awkward position. He is sieged out first, but he is on the low ground, and Stardom again with the A move, aggressive TVT, and unfortunately A moving into siege tanks, even when you are on the high ground, just doesn't work out, and Stardom just completely losing his army. A little too aggressive there from Mr. Stardom. And DNH holds, and guess what DNH is still able to mine from this base. So definitely getting the gas advantage. Stardom does have a little bit higher mineral income right now, although probably not by much, and definitely won't be by anything once DNH has a few more SCVs transferred over. And DNH with that extra gas will like his position, has all the dropships out. Stardom does not have any, so DNH, pretty comfortable position for him at the moment. Although Stardom is going to go ahead and float this command center out to grab his 4th base, which will get him on 3 gases, up to that same gas count as DNH. And of course DNH has 2-0 upgrade now. Stardom going in for the surround, but does he have enough vultures? He certainly does with tank support, but DNH reacts and is going to run out of there. Stardom, I don't think he has his +2. I think his armory died. I'm trying to find it. No, never mind. It's over here. Does he have +2? Did he just get it? No, he does not. Oh, wow. So Stardom got a super fast first armory and got a fast +1, but he did not follow up with +2, which is that really important, really useful TVT upgrade where you can go from 2-shotting tanks to 1-shotting tanks. Oh, DNH taking a major mine to the face right there, losing 3 tanks, but sends his vultures back and will clear out those mines. Yeah, that's actually why he doesn't have +2. Well, I don't know if that was because that was killed or because he's just now building it, but yeah, you can't exactly get +2 without a science facility. Turret going up with the 3rd base here. And Stardom transferring some SCVs over to his 4th base. Just needs to get a gas up there, and we're having a little bit of vulture trade. DNH fighting from the high ground, but Stardom with the numbers. DNH brings a few tanks back over to help support this, and cleans it up without too much difficulty. Again, all these dropships just sitting here. I think DNH just doesn't feel like he has enough units to be comfortable going and doing a drop, and he doesn't really seem to be into the sorts of attacks where you bring your ground army and siege that up and then also drop on top of the opponent's army as you attack. He seems to just want to use the dropships for like big doom drops into the main. And honestly, given how well it worked for him last game, I can't fault him for wanting to do the same again. I mean, that completely destroyed Stardom. So now we're transitioning into a reasonably even game. Stardom has now matched the gas. So Stardom slightly ahead economically, but DNH definitely is ahead with his army, with his upgrades, and arguably has the slightly better map position. Still surprised to see Stardom or DNH not taking advantage of this and setting up a more aggressive position on the map. Instead opting to defend at home, but I guess he's been annoyed with the vulture harass and really just wants to get mining going at his 3rd base. And now Stardom is out on the map in the typical cluster fashion of Stardom. I think he clicks very accurately, so he gets everything to cluster up like really well. And I will admit, when you play Stardom in PvT, it is fantastic when you like come in here and like stasis 2/3 of this shit with like 2 stasises, which I have done a few times. There's the doom drop now from DNH, rolling into the main, tank sieging up, and guess where Stardom is on the map? Not where he wants to be. So, will this drop be as devastating as last time? I don't know. Oh, no, probably not. It looks like he's trying to pick up some of these tanks, not feeling too confident in this drop, or is he just going to drop them here lower in the base? A few units getting on top of these tanks. Looks like this is getting cleaned up right now. And DNH does indeed relocate a few of these tanks lower down in the base. Not sure that was really the best call there. But hey, moving some vultures around. This army is like forgotten now. Stardom remembers it. Drops 4 dropships, 1 vulture. Alright, so Stardom is going to go for a big attack here. On top. Only 3 tanks. There are a few vultures, but Stardom is trying to run it. The DNH's vultures are actually really messing up the padding from Stardom there for a second, but right now DNH is just getting overrun. This time, Stardom's A-move, super aggressive attack, appears to be working as he just has a lot of stuff. Can DNH stop the tide? Dropships are returning, could help, But where are the tanks? I just don't see that many tanks right now for DNH. He's got a few back here. However, once Stardom starts to siege up at this position, sieging up a little bit at the ramp, and picking those off. And are there enough units here from DNH? Stardom is trying to just bully his way through here, laying some mines. Vultures are thinning out, and it is down to just a few tanks, but Stardom is in the natural of DNH right now. DNH setting up, trying to get a line. We'll see how the first shots go, and let's remember, DNH does have that 3-2 attack upgrade advantage. However, 3 or 4 tanks being donated. Vultures coming out, bad rally here. Not re-rallying quickly enough. A Wraith coming out in desperation to start shooting away at these tanks, and it might do a little bit. However, there's a Goliath or two back here, and Stardom has a very large reinforcement on the way. DNH very low on units right now. This Wraith is going to gradually pew-pew away this tanks. However, his base over here completely now exposed to Stardom if he wants to, and is loading up a few dropships. We'll see if he's going to do some... Oh, I don't know where that tank's going, but it is definitely going to die. He is going to load up a few dropships. Perhaps this is defend his third. Perhaps it's a last-ditch effort. But Stardom definitely now has complete map control. I don't know if he can bust all the way into DNH's main, but he is absolutely going to go over and shut down mining here at this third base. And DNH mined out over here. So going to walk on top of here. Now, will DNH bring the dropships over, or is he just going to go for one last drop? I don't even know where he went with his dropships. But this base is 100% shut down now. This little pew-pewing Wraith... Actually, wait, what? Oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Alright, never mind. This base might not be 100% shut down. I spoke a little too fast. And DNH coming in with a drop from over here. So no, DNH is actually going to save his third base for right now. Cool save here from DNH. And now Stardom is sort of spread out everywhere, trying to decide where he wants to hold position on this map. He's got a few units everywhere, but perhaps nowhere focused enough to actually accomplish anything. And DNH, having held that off, will go ahead and start to set up a fourth base in the top left-hand corner as Stardom continues to try and reinforce this attack. Still has positioned the bridges, which is pretty annoying. DNH can only get units over to this side of the map by dropship. However, Stardom needs to be very careful walking up here, but it looks like... Oh! Mines going off. Fortunately, Terran armies do a pretty damn good job of clearing out mines, even with small numbers. And now, DNH's third base will come under fire here from Stardom again a little bit. He does have some tanks there, and if these Goliaths go down quickly, I think he'll be alright. Now, can he see this? No, but he can send the Wraith over here. Would need to re-rally this just a little bit. And a few more Wraiths out for DNH now, just going to town on these tanks, but Stardom reacting with a lot of Goliaths, and these Wraiths will die. And when I say going to town, I mean chipping away at like 10 health of the tanks. Because, let's face it, Wraith's damage versus ground is pretty insignificant. And DNH is actually going to go ahead and double expand behind this. So if DNH can hold a position on the map, which might be hard. I mean, Stardom still has a lot of tanks. He's thrown in a lot of Goliaths into this army, which is interesting. It gives it a little bit more, like, a-moving power than Vultures sometimes. But, I don't know, Goliaths are not necessarily that great, and they certainly don't have the utility and speed and mobility of Vultures. Although, DNH just donated a crap ton of Vultures over here. And now DNH heading out onto the map with some tanks all by themselves, and I'm worried he's just going to get like completely surrounded here by Stardom. Now Vultures are faster, so perhaps he'll just kite back and pick off the Vultures and take little damage, but he's definitely being forced to run back this way, and will be okay. However, oh, nice use of the dropships though, and suddenly DNH has position. He's sieging up. He's got the bridges. I don't think Stardom can just walk across this. No mines, but with 3 or 4 tanks there at the bridges, that ought to be enough. Perhaps he should go back to ferry a little bit more over. Stardom is going to try to muscle it down, and maybe now there are enough units for Stardom. There are just 2 tanks left, and Stardom does have his second upgrade as well now, and it looks like he is going to muscle this down. Now takes the time to shoot at a dropship. Mine almost goes off, but doesn't, and Stardom does clean this up. Can DNH get units across the map fast enough? It doesn't look like it. This command center will for sure die, and this one is definitely in danger, trying to get these SCVs out of the way. And this is a pretty important moment for DNH, because as this goes on, Stardom is just happily mining from both of these bases down here. If DNH can stabilize here, he can stay in this game, but honestly, I think if he cannot stabilize, it is going to start to tilt a little bit into Stardom's favor. And it looks like he's not even going to try, so Big win for Stardom here. Maybe not the most efficient attack, but was able to just bully his way across, and now in a very comfortable position with the mining. And of course, with that second attack upgrade done, Stardom much happier with his upgrades, not playing from such a big upgrade disadvantage in the major fights. So DNA, okay, Race is clearing out the barracks. Thought about dropping with all of these dropships, but he turned around. I don't know if he just scanned something of the natural or what it was that prompted that, but definitely turned it around. And Stardom will see this if he's paying attention at all, which it looks like he is because he's actively controlling his army, so he's probably seeing this. And now he's just going to try to reposition himself. So this will be a... I kind of feel like this is going to be a last-ditch effort here from DNH to deny this base. But Stardom ought to be able to get into position. DNH dropping back here. Tanks going, sieging up. And can Stardom deal with this efficiently? It's a very nice setup here for DNH, particularly for Stardom from this direction. Definitely going to clear this base out for the moment, but will Stardom have the units and the control to get over here, take this out, and quickly reestablish mining at his fourth base? That is the question we are watching. Because right now, this is arguably slightly better economically for DNH in these moments, but if Stardom gets over here and cleans this up quickly, then obviously he goes back to being totally fine economically. And these tanks are apparently not going to defend. Interesting decision here from Stardom. He is going to leave his fourth base completely shut down. Which may, unless he's going to bring everything back, but I don't know why you would send these 4 tanks this way. Oh, he's made a battlecruiser. Okay. Okay. That was unexpected. He's making 2 battlecruisers. I guess he's just going to leave this here till he gets 2 battlecruisers out and just rolls over the Goliaths. And then maybe he's going to go straight up here and hit DNH's third base. I could see that working out tactically. That dropship just dies. But the army size for both players appears similar. And he's trying to use the battlecruiser to bait out the Goliaths, and he's doing an okay job of it in all honesty. But it looks like DNH is going to run forward with these tanks. An interesting decision, does pick off that last tank though, and that will chase the battlecruiser away for the moment, but DNH is forced to leave this position. No, actually he's just setting up in a different position. Now Stardom will come over here, it looks like, and try to clean the rest of this out. Is he just going to A-move into this? And again, he just A-moves into it. Stardom probably should siege a little bit more. Will he have enough to clean it out? Honestly, he should have just gone for the Goliaths if that's all he wanted to do, but unable to clean it out. So Stardom, oh my god, that was a mistake. Oh shit. So Stardom is building 2 command centers. However, DNH has kind of reestablished himself here. He's now taken this base. He started mining from it. And the situation is less terrible for DNH than it was for sure a minute and a half before, 2 minutes before. A few tanks going down, and this flank here from Stardom will finally clean up these tanks here from DNH. So Stardom can float a CC back out and grab this base. And of course Stardom is floating out an additional CC to take a 5th base at this point, which DNH will not want to allow him to take for free. But what I'm curious is Stardom going to want to float all the way to the gas base, or is he just going to say, oh man, just give me minerals, I just want minerals right now? Alright, we have the next drop from DNH. There's a lot of Goliaths though. Can they get some kills? 1 dropship. Now where's he going to drop? Up here on this high ground pod? Or where's he going to go? How is he going to play this? Stardom is walking around chasing this. Uncertain as of yet how DNH wants to use these dropships. I guess it's just a flyby for the moment. Alright, Stardom does want another gas base, and I think DNH is going to try to use this to deny this gas base once he understands what Stardom's game plan is. And honestly, if he drops on the high ground, it would be really annoying for Stardom. I hope he... okay, he's gonna run away for right now. A little too scared of these 3 battlecruisers and all those Goliaths in there. Does not want to just donate his dropships. It's evolving into kind of an interesting TVT right now. The only thing I find a little bit strange about this game, finally 1-1 for the 1-0 for the battlecruisers, is that neither player, you know, I can kind of understand if DNH is trying to be really mobile with dropships everywhere, but neither player has really taken control of the map. Like, it's kind of weird to see a TVT where both players are just spending most of the game sitting behind their bridges with large armies. Like, usually that's a recipe for disaster in TVT, but neither player feels confident enough to move onto the map and try to set up tank lines anywhere on the map. So we're getting this sort of, I don't know, like PVT feeling style TVT where it's like you move armies at each other and attack and occasionally siege. Now DNH is doing a little more dropship action, which is definitely going to fuck up this command center. Yeah, Stardom is kind of headed that way, but he's out of position. I don't think he scanned it. I think if he scanned it, he'd be moving all the way there. I think he's just kind of clustering up his army. Now he's going to bring everything together here. So he's got a huge army, certainly enough to roll over a little drop of DNH. And obviously I'm hearing a lot of scans on the map. Now I can't tell whose scans those are, and I wasn't paying attention to where they were lighting up. But Stardom is going to go ahead and move towards DNH's stuff. So we're going to have another one of these little base race situations, which we have had a few times. It kind of looks like it. And Stardom's army over here is huge. It will definitely just eat through DNH's. And look at this. There's nothing set up over here for defense. Like, the army is really out of position. Like, if he was just sitting on top of his high ground, or even in the middle, this army from Stardom would not be that scary. But it's completely out of position right now, and that's going to allow Stardom to just set up and immediately deny mining over here at the 12 o'clock. And then DNH is going to have a really hard-fought battle because Stardom is already in here with position. Now DNH is getting off the first sieges, and Stardom, much like before, is going to play this body blow style, at least getting in here and siege up on the low ground. I still don't know why he's so against sieging on the high ground, but alright, so we've got a few Yamatos going off, which is nice for thinning out siege tank lines, but DNH has a way better siege position, and Stardom is going to move right into this, and of course DNH is counter-dropping at the bottom. Does Stardom have just enough pure units to overcome the superior position for DNH? It's hard to say, but mining is definitely shut down for the time being at Stardom's bottom 6 o'clock base. And it looks like, yes, for the moment, Stardom has enough units to clear out DNH's position here. Continuing to reinforce with Goliath, though. We'll be able to clean up that battlecruiser, no problem. And with more tanks on the high ground and no battlecruiser vision, I guess that's it for Stardom. And he says, GG. And DNH takes the game. 2-0 sweep for Mr. DNH in a interesting style of TVT. And I believe that was our last game for today. We would have had more, however, week 5, which is what I was casting, had, I believe it was 2 walkovers in one series and 1 walkover in the other series. So, yeah, that's, I think, all we have for today. Not as many games. I will be casting week 6 stuff. I'm hoping to cast that tomorrow, because yeah, I have time and I can't do anything else because I got crashed on my bike a few days ago and my shoulders separated and it is kind of shitty. So I figured, hey, we'll cast some Starcraft and we'll have some fun. And it's a little bit frustrating. Like, I think I'm going to try to play tomorrow, but it's uncomfortable to get up to the keyboard because lifting my hand up the level to get to the keyboard is just enough to make it uncomfortable. So it's like I can kind of get up to the keyboard, and if I could stay on one side of the keyboard, I could play reasonably fine. But like if I'm playing Zerg, 4SD, whatever, that's fine. But when I need to go to the right-hand side of the keyboard, that moving my hand across the body is pretty uncomfortable. So yeah, that's my story for the moment. But look for week 6 casting tomorrow, and then we'll try to cast week 7 sometime during the week, and then we should be pretty current with CPL games and playing a little bit less catch-up. And Curiosity, if you end up hosting a tour and people want those games casted, send those reps my way, and I'm happy to cast those games as well. Just let me know. Oh, it's Danny. What do I think of the Brood War remake coming out? I think I'm excited. I mean, honestly, I don't care about the graphics aspect that much. You know, like, I mean, it'll be cool to see Brood War in HD, but I could really care less. But I am excited for the possibility that it's going to bring a lot more players and the ladder. Like, the ladder features and the matchmaking and stuff is going to be really nice no matter who you are. And it'll be fun for a while having a much larger player base and more active thing. I don't know if it'll last. It'll be interesting to see. Like, I don't know if a year from now we're going to have a couple thousand people playing, but I think we'll have at least a period with very high activity. Yeah, well, you know me pretty well. You've probably heard me say similar things before just from talking to you. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow.